"Do you have everything packed?" I asked, leaning against the doorway as Emily zipped up her suitcase. She glanced up, smiling. "Yes, Daniel. I checked 3 times already. Laptop, notes, dresses, everything's in. You didn't forget your charger this time?" I teased. She rolled her eyes. "I'm not a kid." "Stop worrying. I'm your husband," I said. "Worrying is my full-time job." She chuckled, walking over to adjust my tie. "Your full-time job is surviving Richard Hale." "I don't know how. I deal with him every day." The mention of my boss made my shoulders tense. "It's manageable," I muttered. Her fingers brushed my collar. "You're stronger than you think." "You never give yourself credit." I forced a smile. "I give myself credit for marrying you." "That's enough." Emily's eyes softened. "You always say the right thing." "Not always," I whispered. "Sometimes I don't say enough." She tilted her head. "What do you mean?" "Nothing. Just thinking, Daniel," she said gently. "This conference is important. If I do well, it could open doors. I need your support." "You have it," I said quickly. "Always." "I'm proud of you, Em." Her lips curved into a smile, but something flickered in her eyes. Was it doubt, or just my imagination? "I'll call you every night," she promised. "You better," I said, "or I'll show up in Chicago and embarrass you in front of all those professors." She laughed. "That actually sounds like something you'd do, only because I'd miss you too much." Emily reached for her suitcase. I grabbed it before she could. "Let me carry it." "You don't have to. I want to." We walked together to the door. The morning light spilled in, warm and golden. I looked at her, memorizing the way her hair glowed. "The way she seemed too good for me. You'll do amazing," I said. "You think so?" She asked softly. "I know so. You're brilliant. You're unstoppable." She looked at me for a long moment, then leaned in and kissed me. It wasn't rushed, wasn't casual. It lingered, sweet, steady, grounding. "I'll miss you," she whispered against my lips. "I'll miss you more." The horn of the taxi outside broke the moment. Emily sighed and pulled away. "Don't work yourself to death while I'm gone," she said, tugging my sleeve. "Don't fall asleep during your presentations," I replied. Her laugh was light, but it caught in my chest. I followed her down the steps, rolling the suitcase behind us. The driver opened the trunk. I placed the bag inside carefully, like I was tucking away a part of myself. Emily stood by the door, looking at me with a mixture of excitement and something I couldn't name. "You'll call?" I asked again. "Every night," she said. "No excuses." I nodded, though unease tugged at me. "Promise?" She touched my cheek. "Promise." I wanted to believe her. I wanted to drown every doubt in that touch. She was ambitious, brilliant, always reaching higher. I, on the other hand, felt like I was drowning in spreadsheets under Richard Hale's sharp gaze. He never missed a chance to remind me I was replaceable. But Emily never said that. She said I was enough. She said she loved me. "I love you, Daniel," she said now, as if she'd read my thoughts. "I love you too." My voice cracked. Her eyes lingered on me for a second longer, then she slid into the back seat of the taxi. The driver shut the door. I stepped closer, bent slightly, and whispered through the glass. "I'll be waiting for you, Em." The car pulled away. I watched it until it turned the corner and vanished. Leaving me alone on the sidewalk with the sunlight and the silence, I stood there longer than I should have, wondering why my chest felt so heavy. "Hey, how's the conference going?" I typed quickly, staring at my phone. Her reply came a minute later. "Busy. Just finished a workshop." Exhausted, I smiled, though it felt thin. "Send me a picture of the place," I wrote. No response. I waited, staring at the screen until the typing dots disappeared. The next evening, I tried a call. Can you hear me?" Her voice was faint. "Daniel, I can't talk right now. We're running late into the night, just for a minute," I said. "I miss your face tomorrow, okay?" "I promise." The line went dead. I lowered the phone slowly. Something in me sank, but I shoved it down. She was busy. That was all at work the next day. Richard appeared by my desk, his smile sharp, but strangely warm. "Daniel, how about a drink tonight?" "My treat." I blinked. "A drink?" "With you." He chuckled. "Why not?" "You've been looking tense. A little whiskey might loosen you up." I hesitated. "Sure, I guess." Later at the bar, he poured amber liquid into my glass. "So," he said casually, "how's Emily's trip?" I sipped, the burn scratching my throat. "She's busy. Always in meetings." He said, tilting his glass. "Must be exciting for her. All those new people, new opportunities." I frowned. "What do you mean?" He shrugged. "Just saying. A talented woman like her, she catch attention. You know how these conferences are? She's not like that," I said firmly. Richard smirked. "Of course not." "Forgive me, I was only joking." But it didn't feel like a joke. His eyes lingered too long. His tone carried something heavier. The next night I called Emily again. "Hey, can we video chat? Just for a few minutes?" A pause. Then her voice, quick and flat. "Daniel, I look terrible." "I haven't slept. I don't care how you look. I just want to see you." "I can't," she said, almost snapping. "Please, not tonight." My chest tightened. "All right. Tomorrow then?" "We'll see," she muttered, then hung up. The silence after that was unbearable. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. My phone clutched in my hand like a lifeline. 2 days later, Sophie called out of the blue. "Daniel, hey. I bumped into Emily at the hotel yesterday." "Well, actually, I didn't. That's the weird thing. What do you mean?" I asked quickly. She laughed. "Well, I thought she'd be at Dr. Simmons' seminar. Everyone was there. But when I asked around, they said she hadn't shown up all week." My throat went dry. "Maybe she had other sessions." "Maybe," Sophie said lightly. Still odd for her to miss. Simmons, she talked about it for months. "Anyway, how are you? Surviving hail?" I forced a laugh. "Barely." We chatted a bit longer, but her words kept echoing. Emily hadn't shown up. Why would she lie? That night, I confronted her over the phone. "Emily, are you going to the seminars?" She was quiet. "Then, why would you ask that?" Sophie mentioned, her tone sharpened. "Sophie talks too much." "Don't listen to her, then. Tell me yourself. Are you really in those meetings?" "Daniel," she said coldly, "I don't have time for this jealousy. It's not jealousy. It's 'I'll call you later,'" the line cut. I stared at the phone in my hand, my reflection warped in the black screen. My instincts screamed louder than ever, but I pressed them down, smothering them with excuses. She was tired. She was stressed. She was mine. Yet Richard's smirk haunted me. Sophie's words burned in my ears. Something was wrong, and I was too afraid to admit it. "Daniel." Emily called as she stepped through the door, suitcase dragging behind her. I rushed forward, arms out, but stopped halfway. Her face was pale, her smile stiff. "You're back," I whispered. "Of course I'm back," she said, forcing a laugh. "Where else would I go?" I hugged her anyway, but her body felt tense. It's unresponsive. "You look tired," I said softly. "Conference life," she muttered, brushing past me toward the couch. 3 weeks of non-stop chaos. I watched her sink into the cushions. "You don't seem happy to be home." Her eyes darted away. "I'm just exhausted." I sat beside her. "I missed you, Em." She gave me a weak smile. "I missed you too," but the words sounded rehearsed. The weeks that followed were worse. She avoided me in bed, always claiming headaches or work to finish. I tried to be patient, but the distance gnawed at me. One night, as I passed the bathroom door, I heard muffled sobs. "I pushed it open, Emily." She spun around, clutching something in her hands. Her face was streaked with tears. "What's that?" I asked. "Nothing," she said quickly, hiding it behind her back. I stepped closer, heart pounding. "Emily, show me." Her hands trembled as she held it out. A white stick. 2 bright pink lines, my breath caught. "You're pregnant." She nodded, silent tears spilling down. I stared at the test, my voice breaking. "After 2 years of trying, Suddenly now? While you were gone? Her shoulders shook. Daniel, please tell me it's mine, I whispered. Clinging to hope I already knew was dead. She collapsed onto the floor, sobbing. I can't. I staggered back. What are you saying? Her words came out in fragments, broken and raw. I was lonely. I was stupid. It just happened. I swear I didn't plan it. The room spun around me. Her eyes squeezed shut, but the name tore from her lips. Richard, the sound of it cracked through me like glass shattering. I slammed my fist against the sink. Richard Hale, my boss. I didn't mean for it to happen, she wailed. I swear to you, Daniel, I hated myself every second. You hated yourself? My voice was hoarse. Do you know what you've done to me? To us? I love you, she cried. I never stopped loving you. I laughed bitterly. Love? You carry another man's child, and you dare say love? She crawled toward me, grabbing my hands. Please, listen. It was one night. I was drunk. I felt lost. And he... Don't you dare blame it on being drunk, I snapped, pulling away. You made a choice. Her sobs grew louder. I wanted to tell you sooner, but I couldn't. I was terrified. Terrified of losing me. You already lost me, Emily. Her hands covered her face. I don't want him. I only want you. Please, Daniel, believe me. I shook my head, tears blurring my vision. You think I can raise Richard Hale's child? Watch it grow up with his eyes, his smile, while I die inside every day. She reached for me again. We can fix this. We can try, no. My voice was cold. You broke something that can't be fixed. Her cries filled the bathroom, going against the tiles. I stumbled into the kitchen, grabbing a glass of water with trembling hands. She followed, voice desperate. Daniel, please don't walk away. I need you. You needed me before, I said, slamming the glass down. When you were lonely, when you felt weak. But you went to him. It was a mistake. She screamed. Mistake? I shouted back. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. A mistake is burning dinner. Sleeping with my boss and getting pregnant, that's not a mistake. That's betrayal. Her legs buckled, and she sank to the floor. I can't lose you. You already did, I whispered, turning away. For days, the silence in our house was unbearable. I barely spoke to her. She tried small talks, soft touches, pleading eyes, but I recoiled each time. One evening, she finally broke it. Daniel, what are you going to do? I don't know, I said honestly, but I can't pretend this never happened. Her hands clutched her stomach. The baby, I don't even know what to do. I stared at her, rage twisting inside me. Don't call it the baby. Call it what it is, Richards. She flinched. Please don't say that. Why not? It's the truth. Her voice cracked. If you walk away, I'll have nothing. Then maybe you should have thought of that before you gave him everything, I spat. Her tears came again, but I felt nothing. Just a hollow ache where love used to be. That night, lying alone in bed, I whispered to the dark, Richard Hale, of all people. You destroyed me, and for the first time in my life, I felt something colder than grief. I felt hate. Don't look at me like that, Emily sobbed, gripping my arm. Like what? I snapped. Like my wife's carrying my boss's child? How else am I supposed to look at you? Her voice shook. Daniel, I was lonely. I was drunk. I didn't mean I yanked my arm free. Stop saying you didn't mean it. You let him touch you. You let him take what was mine. She collapsed onto the couch. I still love you. I laughed bitterly. Love. Do you even know what that word means anymore? Daniel, please, she whispered. Don't leave me. I can't even breathe in this house, I said, storming toward the door. Where are you going? Anywhere but here. The door slammed behind me. The night air cut cold against my skin as I wandered aimlessly through the streets. Every memory replayed in my head, like broken glass, cutting deeper her kiss before she left. The silence of her calls, the way she smiled when she promised to miss me, all lies. I walked until the city lights blurred. till exhaustion forced me back home near dawn. When I stepped inside, Emily was asleep on the couch, tear stains drying on her cheeks. I didn't look twice. I showered, dressed, and dragged myself to work. "Daniel," Richard's voice called from his office later that morning. "Step inside." I clenched my jaw and entered. He leaned back in his chair, smug smile plastered across his face. "You wanted to see me?" I asked, forcing calm. "Relax," he said smoothly. "We're just talking about what?" He folded his hands. "About Emily." My fists tightened. "What about her?" His grin widened. "She made her choice, Daniel. Maybe you should accept it." The words burned through me. "You're proud of what you've done?" "I don't take what isn't offered," he said casually. My nails dug into my palms. "You destroyed my life." "No," he corrected. "Your wife destroyed it." I just opened the door she was already knocking on. I wanted to leap across the desk and smash that smile off his face. My fists trembled, my pulse roaring in my ears. "You think you've won?" I said through clenched teeth. He leaned forward, lowering his voice. "Daniel, don't embarrass yourself. You can't fight me. I run this company. You're just another name on payroll." I turned away, forcing myself to breathe. If I hit him, I'd lose everything. I needed a plan, not a prison sentence. "You'll regret this," I muttered. Richard chuckled. "We'll see." I walked out before my rage consumed me. That evening, I met Mark at our usual bar. He slammed a beer down in front of me. "Tell me what's going on." "You look like hell." I hesitated, then said it all in one breath. "Emily cheated. She's pregnant." "It's Richard S." Mark froze. "Your boss, Richard?" "Yes." His face twisted in fury. "That bastard." I knew I hated him for a reason. I buried my head in my hands. "What do I do, Mark?" "I feel like I'm drowning." "You burn him to the ground," Mark said firmly. "You don't let him walk away after humiliating you like this." "And Emily," I whispered. Mark slammed the table. "She chose him, Daniel. She betrayed you. Stop making excuses for her. She says she still loves me." "Love," he scoffed. "Love doesn't crawl into bed with another man. She spit on your marriage." I stayed silent, staring into my drink. Mark leaned closer. "Listen to me. You can't just survive this. You have to make them pay. Both of them." "I don't even know where to start," I admitted. "That's why you've got me," Mark said. "I'll help. But you can't hesitate. You've got to be ready to fight dirty." His words sank into me like poison and salvation at once. "I want him to feel what I feel," I whispered. "Good," Mark said. "Then we'll figure it out together." That night, when I finally returned home, Emily was waiting by the door. Her face was swollen from crying. "Daniel," she begged, reaching for me. "Please, talk to me." I walked past her in silence. She grabbed my sleeve. "Don't shut me out. I need you." I turned, my voice cold. "You needed me before. You don't get to need me now." Her eyes filled with tears again. "I'll do anything to fix this. You can't fix shattered glass." "Emily," I said, pulling away. Her sobs followed me down the hallway, but my heart was no longer breaking. It was hardening, and in that hardness, a plan was beginning to take shape. "Another round?" the bartender asked. I nodded, my head heavy. "Keep them coming." The glass hit the counter. Whiskey burned down my throat, but it was the only thing that dulled the images in my head. Emily's tears. Richard's smirk that test in her trembling hands. When I stumbled home past midnight, Emily was waiting at the table. A plate of pasta sat untouched, cold. "You've been drinking again," she whispered. "Congratulations," I muttered. "You still notice me, Daniel. Don't do this." "I'm trying," I laughed bitterly. "Trying what?" "To cook away the memory of him? To wash out what's growing inside you?" Her face crumpled. "Please stop." I shoved past her, collapsing onto the couch. "Just leave me alone." She hovered in the doorway. I'll keep proving I love you. Even if you hate me now, I'll keep trying. Save it, I muttered, closing my eyes. Days blurred. Work became a battlefield. Richard strutted through the office like a king, his voice loud, his jokes sharper. Every success he announced, every pat on the back he received, cut into me. Whispers crawled through the hallways. I caught pieces. Poor guy. His wife with hail. Can you believe it? I buried myself in my desk, pretending not to hear. At a colleague's party one evening, I tried to act normal. Drink in hand, I forced a smile when Sophie waved me over. Daniel, she chirped, a little too loud. How's Emily? Oh, and Richard, the room went silent. Her eyes widened. Oh God, I didn't mean I dropped the glass. It shattered against the floor. Heads turned, whispers hissed. Heat flooded my face. I need air, I muttered, storming out. Sophie ran after me. Daniel, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to just stop, I snapped, shoving the door open. Stop talking about her. About him. About me. Her mouth opened, then closed. She stepped back. I walked into the night, the sound of laughter echoing behind me. The next morning, Claire showed up at my apartment. She took one look at me, bloodshot eyes, unshaven face, and sighed. Jesus, Daniel. You look like you've been dragged through hell. Feels about right? She dropped a bag on the counter. Food. Real food. Not whiskey. I managed a weak smile. Thanks. Her eyes softened, then hardened again. Tell me the truth. Is it really his? I swallowed hard. She admitted it. Claire's jaw tightened. Then why are you still there? Because my voice broke. Because I don't know who I am without her. She leaned forward. Daniel, she's destroying you. Look at yourself. Drinking every night, stumbling through work, letting him humiliate you in front of everyone. You're not my brother anymore, you're his shadow. I rubbed my face. I can't just erase her. You don't have to erase her, Claire said firmly. But you have to save yourself before she pulls you under completely. Tears stung my eyes. You think I should leave? I know you should. Her words echoed in my chest like a hammer striking glass. That night, Emily sat beside me on the couch, holding another note, her handwriting messy. Desperate, I'll never stop fighting for you, she whispered. I stared at her belly. The swell barely visible but undeniable. My stomach turned. Stop writing notes, Emily, I said quietly. Why? Because every word just reminds me of what you did. She flinched. I don't want to lose you. You already did, I whispered. Silence filled the room, thick and suffocating. And for the first time, I realized Claire was right. The walls were closing in. Mark slammed his beer down on the table. You can't keep drowning yourself, man. Crying won't fix this. I'm not crying anymore, I said flatly. I'm done bleeding. Now, I'm cutting back. His eyes narrowed. Cutting who? Richard, Emily, both of them. Mark leaned forward, lips curling. Finally. That's what I wanted to hear. What's the plan? I don't have one yet, I admitted. But if they wanted to humiliate me, I'll give it back. Twice over. Mark smirked. Now you're speaking my language. The next morning, I cornered Anthony in the IT room. He nearly jumped out of his chair. Daniel, what are you doing down here? I closed the door. I need your help. He blinked nervously. Help with what? Richard, I know he's dirty. I need proof. Anthony fidgeted with his glasses. That's dangerous. Everything in my life is already dangerous, I said. You think I care anymore? He swallowed. What exactly are you looking for? Shady deals, bribes, falsified reports, anything he doesn't want people to see? Anthony hesitated. If I get caught, you won't, I cut in. You're the best at this. And I'll take all the blame if anything goes wrong. His eyes darted toward the server racks. I shouldn't, but Richard has made my life hell for years. Fine, I'll help. Relief washed over me. Thank you. That night, Mark sprawled across my couch with his laptop. Passwords. Anthony's working on it, I said. But I've got something else too. I held up my phone, shaking slightly. Mark raised a brow. What's that? Emily. She confessed everything. I recorded it. I pressed play. Her broken voice filled the room. It's Richard's. I didn't mean for it to happen. I'm sorry, Mark. Whistled low. Solid gold. My stomach churned. It feels wrong, recording her like that. He scoffed. Wrong? She betrayed you, man? She gave herself to your boss. There's no wrong anymore. There's only payback. I rubbed my temples. Sometimes I wonder if I'm becoming worse than them. You're not worse. You're smarter. You're finally fighting back. Days passed. Anthony slipped me files late at nights. Spreadsheets, emails, hidden folders buried in encrypted drives. Look at this, he whispered one evening, sliding a flash drive across the desk. Offshore accounts, money that doesn't add up. I clenched the drive in my fist. This is it. This is the crack in his armor. Anthony swallowed. Be careful, Daniel. Richard doesn't forgive. Neither do I at home. Emily hovered by the kitchen doorway, watching me scribble notes. What are you working on? She asked softly. Just things for work, I muttered, hiding the papers. She stepped closer. I know you hate me, but please don't shut me out completely. I looked at her belly. The reminder burned. You already shut me out when you chose him. Her eyes filled with tears. I was weak, lonely, drunk. I hate myself every day. Good, I snapped. You should. She flinched. Do you ever think about forgiving me? I forced a hollow laugh. Forgive? Emily, I can barely look at you without wanting to scream. Her voice cracked. Then why are you still here? Because I needed more evidence. Because leaving now would mean losing the chance to strike back. Because I wanted her to suffer in silence while I built my revenge. But I said none of that. I just muttered, I don't know, and walked away. Later, Mark slapped the latest documents on the table. This is big. Richard's cooked numbers for years. Bonuses, stock reports, client bribes, it's all here. I stared at the evidence. One leak, and his empire collapses. Exactly, Mark said. So, what are you waiting for? Blow it wide open. My hands trembled. It's not that simple. If I do this, I burn everything, my job, my reputation, maybe even my freedom. Who cares? Mark shot back. He ruined your marriage. He made you a joke at work. You think your reputation still exists? I sat in silence, the weight pressing down. Mark leaned closer. Daniel, you either strike or you stay his punching bag. Which are you? I closed my eyes. I don't know if this is justice or just hate. Who cares what it is? Mark growled. As long as it hurts him. That night, I stood at the window, staring at the city lights. My reflection in the glass looked older, harder. What am I becoming? I whispered to myself. No answer came. Only the echo of Emily's sobs and Richard's smug voice. Emily made her choice. Maybe you should accept it. Accept it? No. Never. I clenched my fists. I wasn't Daniel, the broken husband, anymore. I was Daniel, the storm, and the storm was coming. Mark grinned when I slid the flash drive across the table. So, you're doing it? I nodded. I'm done waiting. Tonight, this goes out. He leaned back. To who? Corporate, regulators. Anyone with the power to rip him apart. Mark chuckled darkly. About damn time. 2 days later, the office hummed with tension. Whispers followed me down the hallway. Did you hear? Audit teams are coming in. Numbers don't match up. Hale's furious Richard stormed past, his tie loose, his eyes wild. He barked orders, cursed at assistants, slammed doors. For the first time, I saw fear in his face. Anthony sidled up to my desk. You did it, didn't you? I kept my voice low. Maybe. He adjusted his glasses nervously. They're combing through everything. If they find his accounts, he's finished. Good, I muttered. Let him drown in his own lies. That evening, I lingered late. The office was nearly empty when Richard's shadow loomed over my desk. Daniel, he said, voice sharp. Stay a minute. I forced myself to look calm. Of course, he shut the door behind us. Strange times, isn't it? Investigators crawling around, questions flying. Makes a man wonder who stabbed him in the back. I met his eyes. Maybe it's just karma catching up. His jaw tightened. Dante played dumb. I know it was you. I smirked. Do you? Or are you just scared because the walls are closing in? He slammed his fist on the desk. Everything I built, everything I earned, you're trying to burn it down. You took everything from me, I said coldly. My wife, my dignity, my peace. I'm just taking back what you owe. The silence cut sharp between us. His face twisted, but before he could speak again, the door creaked. Emily stood there, pale, frozen in the doorway. Emily, Richard said quickly, his tone shifting. Go home. This isn't your concern. Her eyes darted between us. What's going on? I stared at her. Ask him. Ask what you really were to him. Her voice trembled. Richard. He straightened, smoothing his tie. Don't listen to him. He's jealous, bitter. You know, I care for you. Care. I spat. You used her. She was just a trophy to wave in my face. A game you wanted to win. Emily's face crumpled. That's not true, is it? Richard's silence was louder than any answer. Her lips trembled. All those nights, all those words, you never loved me? He finally muttered, It was complicated. Complicated? She whispered. Tears welled in her eyes. I destroyed my marriage for you. I stepped closer, my voice low but firm. Now you see him, Emily. Not the man you thought he was. Just a coward who feeds on ruining lives. Richard pointed a shaking finger at me. You'll regret this. Both of you. I leaned in, meeting his glare. No, you'll regret underestimating me. Emily followed me out into the hallway, her steps unsteady. Daniel, wait, she called. I stopped, but didn't turn. Her voice cracked. You were right. He never cared. I was just stupid. I finally faced her. Her tears streaked her cheeks, and for a moment, I felt the old ached the memory of loving her. But it vanished as quickly as it came. You chose him, I said quietly. Now live with the choice. Her hands shook. I thought I mattered. I thought you mattered to me, I cut in. And that wasn't enough for you? She looked away, broken. Back at my desk, I gathered my files slowly. My heart pounded, not from fear, but from a grim satisfaction. Mark's voice echoed in my head. You either strike, or you stay his punching bag. Tonight, Richard Hale had felt the first blow, and I wasn't finished. When I walked through the apartment door, Emily was waiting. Her eyes were red, her hands clenched together as if in prayer. Daniel, she whispered, please sit. I shook my head. Say what you need to say, her lips trembled. I know I've destroyed everything, but I still love you. I swear I do, I laughed bitterly. Love? You call this love? I was weak, she cried, lonely. I made the worst mistake of my life, but my heart stood still yours. I clenched my fists. Your heart wasn't with me when you went to him. She stepped closer. I never wanted his child. I don't even want to keep it. My chest tightened. What are you saying? Tears streamed down her face. I could end it. If that's what it takes to keep you. I stared at her, horrified. You'd kill it just to erase your guilt. She shook her head desperately. Not guilt. Hope. Hope that maybe we could still have a chance. I don't want anything tying me to him. I turned away, running a hand through my hair. God, Emily. Do you even hear yourself? She clutched my arm. I love you, Daniel. I don't want Richard. I never did. He meant nothing. You mean everything. Her touch burned, both familiar and foreign. For a moment, I saw the woman I married, the woman I once believed in. But the image shattered as fast as it appeared. You didn't just betray me, I said slowly. You destroyed me. Her sobs tore through the room. Please don't say that. Please don't leave me like this. I can't stay. She dropped to her knees, clutching her stomach, her voice breaking. Don't walk away. I need you. I can't do this without you. I closed my eyes, forcing back the sting of tears. You already chose to do it without me? Daniel? I pulled free from her grasp and stepped toward the door. Her cries echoed behind me, sharp and raw, as I closed the door. The sound followed me into the hall, her broken sobs. Her body curled around the life she wished she could erase, and for the first time, I felt nothing but the emptiness she left inside me. The headlines came first. Executive exposed in fraud scandal. Richard's empire burned overnight. He was fired, dragged into investigations, his face plastered across the news. I sat in my cramped apartment, the glow of the screen reflecting on the peeling paint. For once, his voice wasn't booming over everyone else's. It was cracking under the weight of disgrace. My phone buzzed once. His name, I let it ring. Later, Emily's messages appeared. Please answer. I need to explain. I deleted them all. Then came the letters, slid under my door, the handwriting I knew by heart. I stacked them in a drawer unopened. When Claire visited, she pointed at the pile. You're not even going to read them? No, I said flatly. She frowned. You don't think you'll regret that? I already regret enough, I muttered. Mark leaned on the counter, arms crossed. Richard's finished. You won. Why does it feel like you're still drowning? I met his eyes. Because victory doesn't bring back what I lost. That night alone again, I sat in silence. Her voice still echoed in my head, sometimes tender, sometimes begging. I hated it. I missed it. I couldn't tell which feeling hurt more. The apartment was small, bare bones, but it felt like mine. I cooked eggs on a scratched pan, listened to the neighbors through thin walls, walked streets where no one knew my name. Solitude stung, yet it also breathed. One evening, I heard a knock. A soft voice followed. Hi, sorry to bother you. I'm Lily, from across the hall. Your mail got mixed with mine. I opened the door. She smiled shyly, handing me a few envelopes. Thanks, I said, surprised by the kindness in her eyes. No problem, she replied. I'm still getting used to this building too. If you ever need sugar or someone to talk to, her words lingered long after she left. Not as temptation, but as something gentler. Reminder that not everyone who reached out wanted to take. The next weekend, Claire dropped by with groceries. You're thinner, she scolded. Eat more than coffee and toast? I chuckled. Yes, Mom. She softened. I worry about you, you know. I know, I said quietly. But I'm lighter. For the first time in months, maybe years, I can breathe. Mark raised a glass of soda. To surviving? I clinked his cup, forcing a small smile. To surviving. When they left, silence reclaimed the room. I sat by the window, city lights flickering in the distance. My life was in ruins, but for once, the ruins felt like soil where something new might grow. Sophie's voice carried through the phone, hesitant. She had the baby last night. I didn't answer. She was alone, Sophie added. No family. No Richard. Just the hospital staff. She cried for you. My chest tightened, but I stayed silent. Do you want to see her? The child? Sophie asked carefully. No, the word left my lips like stone. She sighed. She regrets it all, you know. She told me she'd give anything to turn back time. I closed my eyes. Regret doesn't change what was done. Maybe not, Sophie whispered. But it still hurts her, and it still destroyed me, I replied. Don't ask me to carry both weights. There was a pause. Then only her quiet breath before the call ended. That night, Claire stopped by. She looked at me with the blunt honesty only a sister could manage. So, it's done. She has her child. Not yours. Not your problem anymore. I rubbed my face. Why do I still feel chained to it? Because you loved her, Claire said simply. And love leaves scars. I let out a bitter laugh. Scars don't fade, do they? No, she admitted, but they remind you where you've been, and that you survived. Her words sat heavy in the room, but they didn't crush me. For once, they steadied me. Later Mark called, his voice sharp as always. Heard the news. You good? As good as I can be? Don't lie. But listen, Richard's gone. Emily's made her bed. You re-free. Don't waste it by looking back. I'm trying, I said softly. Try harder, he shot back. You earned the right to live, not mope. When the call ended, I stared at the ceiling. Their words circled me Sophie's pity, Claire's blunt truth, Mark's fire. But when the noise faded, only my own voice remained. I walked to the window. Dawn was breaking, a thin orange line stretching over the city. I pressed my hand to the cold glass, breathing in the silence. They broke me, I whispered, my voice trembling yet steady, but in the breaking. I found myself the city slowly lit, shadows peeling away. Some wounds don't heal, I murmured, but they remind you never to kneel again. The words hung in the air, heavier than grief, lighter than freedom. For the first time, I didn't look backward. I only watched the sunrise.